chronicler. I am here to recount the tales of the greatest adventurers in the realm. Follow us on grand adventures through high magic and grand swordplay. In a world ravaged by monsters, ruled by tyrants, and fought over by villains, who would dare to stand up to them? Lend me your ear, and I shall tell you. Hello, brave adventurers. Welcome to Chronicles of the Lost Realm. When we last left our heroes, they were skulking through the town of Varesh, making their way to the fishmongers. Seeing many horrible things that the Queen's hand were doing amongst the town, they had little time for investigation. Shortly after reaching the fishmongers, they quickly realized that something was amiss. After a series of unfortunate events, they found themselves making some soup.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Chronicles of the Lost Realm. In this exciting episode, we're going to pick up right where we left off with the infamous question, who wants chowder?
No, don't mention chowder.
Joining me today is the chowder master himself, Faerun Tekthonos.
Hey, what?
And overseeing the wonderful chowder making process, in fact, one could almost say the creator of the recipe, the doctor, the blighted crow.
Faerun, please tell me, how does your stomach feel currently?
Like I ate a hurdy-gurdy.
Good.
It tastes like burning.
I ate the purple berries.
And keeping track of the goings-ons and wondering what in the hell she got herself into, the assassin to the Raven Queen, Valhalla Windmeadow.
I am not cleaning up after any of this. I'm an assassin.
Oh my god, guys, guess what? Not to interrupt, but guess what? I think Billy just showed up.
Just showed up. I've been here the whole time.
No, I mean you actually showed up in the conversation. We were gonna write you off this episode. I mean, we were gonna make you go NPC.
Been here the whole time. What are you talking about? Just showed up. Been here the whole time.
And finally, last but not least, Billy, the resident bard, who's also looking a little green around the gills.
Huh? No. I don't have the plague.
For the 900th time.
I don't have the plague. And the whole
Yes!
Farun and everybody throwing up in the hat and everything. Billy was casually entertained by that. That was funny.
That is now aptly dubbed the chowder hat.
The chowder hat.
Who wants chowder?
So
Billy's actually trying to figure out how he can do that as a spell.
I'll give you the evidence.
let's see. We're going to do this. So the leader of the fishmonger, quote unquote, fishmongers. He's, like I said last time, he's looking absolutely mortified. He is at least looking green around the gills himself. He's not quite up to par with everything that's going on with all of this. Takes one last look at all of you standing, well, Bahana's standing out in the actual bar area from what I remember from last time. Kind of looks at the three of you in the office itself and books it past all of you. And you know, you had already established that you needed to head, head east to the fisherman who seem to be having some issues with negotiating a price, and as such, that is your job. Hopefully, with either kind silvery words or kind silvery weapons. Either way, he doesn't much care. He just wants a better price on the fish.
Well, the first thing that I'm worried about is making this stop. Then I can actually.
I cast lesser restoration on for run.
And lesser restoration, that's for disease and things like that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have the plague.
Yeah.
But it should work on sickness as well.
Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, the sickness isn't caused by a disease. It's actually caused by a medicine. Ironically enough.
Don't worry, Pharaoh. It will wear off very soon. I usually only give this particular vial to children that have eaten something
Lesser restoration.
poisonous.
You touch a creature and it can end either one disease or one condition afflicting it. The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Which he is not any of those things.
I mean, I would consider a medicine that's making him sick poisoned.
No.
That's kind of how it works in the real world.
But it's trying to hail me from the sniffles. Let's be real. The reason I'm sick is it's trying to expel a cold from me that I just don't happen to have.
Yeah.
Right. But go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
Who, me?
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
Favorite.
All right, let me check that real quick. Constitution. Con. There it is. Rolling. 25. Woohoo! I am healed.
Hold on, my interwebs is being fickle.
Ah.
But yeah, so with the 25, you do shrug off the effects. Your stomach starts to go back to normal, and you are no longer vomiting all over uncontrollably. But the good news is you now no longer have the sniffles.
Man, I feel great all of a sudden. So much, in fact. No. That button, thank you. So much, in fact. I turn around to Billy, and I probably missed. And I just slammed the hat into his chest.
Yeah, with that roll, you go for it, just kind of making it look like, oh, I'm walking by, I'm just going to plant this thing into his chest. But given its leathery texture and the fact that it has gotten wet, it just kind of slides out of your hand onto the floor.
It splatters his boots.
You're right, yeah, making a satisfying splat.
Well, if it would accept my roll,
It
I
did.
just did an acrobatics check.
Why? Yeah, that's kind of a waste of a roll. I missed you to begin with.
Yeah, but I don't want to get hit with it at all. It's not accepting it at all.
You managed.
It's accepting it on my end.
Yeah, it's
accepted
showing up on
end,
mine. too.
You rolled a
You
27
do.
and
You
an
duck
18.
out of the way without it hitting any part of your clothing. No huge deal there. And you all head back out into the main bar area where Vahana is just kind of standing, tapping her foot, looking at her invisible watch on her wrist. All right, about that time.
I'm walking behind Billy, right?
Oh man, my first roll was amazing.
Am
Yeah,
I
27.
walking behind Billy?
I would say you're probably walking in front of him.
I want to be behind him. And this
Okay.
is why. Yes, I'll go with that. Sleight of hand. I use his cloak to wipe my face. To
Oh,
clean
Lord.
myself up, I just grab the bottom of his cloak and start wiping myself without him noticing.
grody.
I'm gonna make Billy wear it one way or another.
Hang on.
Roll a perception, Billy.
Yep.
As I watch all of us, I'm just giving like the squinty eye of we need to go and a disgust face.
So the next time you see the Raven Queen, are you gonna be talking to her about how she sent you on a babysitting? God damn it!
Run. I noticed.
Damn it! It still happened.
Yeah, but
you went to do it. He snatched
this
the cloak back.
This also means that the corner of the cloak that you wiped your face on, you are now getting slapped with.
So, the road heading east out of the town in the direction of the waterfront takes you directly past Lizban's house.
Let's stop there real quick.
As you're crossing over the top of the bridge, you know, it all kind of comes back to you that, oh yeah, Lizban lived underneath this bridge. And the immediate kind of glancing over that you can see, there are bloody drag marks from where you slaughtered the guards before, and their bodies were hauled off. But Lizban's house actually lies in ruins, completely disheveled, almost smoldering in some parts. It's just completely destroyed.
I look directly at Billy, and as I'm staring at him, figuring that he's having the exact same thought I am, that, shit, this was us again. I say to the Blighted Crow and to Valhalla, we need to stop and check this out.
We should have used prestidigitation.
Well,
cleaned up after ourselves.
Well, this is a poor state for a fisherman to live in.
This ain't a fisherman's house.
Oh, well, I thought that's where we were going.
We are. We just need to stop here real quick.
Oh, fine.
All right, so we head down to the ruins of Lizban's house. Particularly want to see if there was any struggle, if there's any signs of Lizban, like whether his body's there or if he got away or if he's still there, alive, whatever. But the first and foremost is to see if there's any evidence of what happened to Lizban himself.
So on the ruins of, the little rocks and stones and bits, because, if you remember, it was just kind of like a shanty. And Valhalla, unfortunately, you've never been here before, so you're pretty unfamiliar with all of this. But the good doctor here, since you're familiar with this city because you've been here before, you only know that the person living in this house, or what once was a house, was a rather eccentric gnome that kind of kept to himself and never really let anybody into his house at all. Nobody really knew exactly what he did in this city. He just kind of lived under the bridge. He was the last remnant of an old time. And when he wouldn't leave his house, they just kind of built over top of it.
All right.
So literally the bridge that you guys were standing on before going to investigate, underneath the bridge is where his house is. It was more of a shanty that you remember seeing before, and now it's in. But when you all get down there and you're investigating the ruins, I would like everybody to roll either a perception or an investigation check.
Well, I just did an investigation, and
I'm not very effectively investigating.
Okay, so that was for both of you. Perfect. Thank you very much for doing that. See, you guys are getting it.
I mean, I'll happily do a perception too, but
wow, we're not doing very hot with the investigation rolls today.
I don't know. Scott got a 20.
Gosh,
yep.
Scott. Well, yeah. I mean, the Blighted Crow got a 20, but the one who gets a plus 11 to her rolled a natural 1.
The two people in our party who get the highest plus to investigation rolled ones.
Well, I mean, given Valhalla, she has no idea what this was even prior, so she doesn't really care. She's more interested in, hey, we got this fisherman we need to go talk to. Like, that's her sole focus. Billy, you're just like, holy crap, what the heck happened down here? You're looking at the pools of blood and whatnot from the guards getting dragged off. Farron,
I know what the pools of blood are from. We
Farron,
made them.
You immediately notice that the closet door is still standing.
I go to investigate
all of the rubble. The closet door still stands.
I go and clear the way to the closet door and see if it can open.
Now, the Blighted Crow, I need you to roll an additional check. I need you to roll an Arcana check.
Oh boy. That is definitely not my skill. Yeah, there we go.
Nice. All right.
Excellent.
So, as you are looking through the ruins and, Farron's throwing rocks out of the way and heading directly towards the closet door, you're kind of looking at all the rubble and whatnot, and you notice that within parts of the brick and mortar, there's just these massive, deep claw marks. I mean, they look like a very large creature did this. As you're kind of, investigating it and trying to figure out you could also roll a nature check if that's a higher roll for you, but
actually it is.
So as you're really getting down in there and checking it out,
That's
you
same.
get the exact same thing. All you
Nice.
can guess is that these are definitely claw marks, and they're from a large or larger creature. Farron, you make your way to the door, kind of tossed everything out of the way, and once you clear the stuff that's in the immediate vicinity of the door, you can see that there's blood trailing into the door.
Into the door.
Yep.
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to, determine how old the blood is. Basically, make sure it ain't the bodies we dragged in for him to investigate.
No, this is fresher than that blood.
All right, well, I'm no rogue, but is the door locked?
Nope.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna draw at least one short sword, for
Okay.
defense reasons, and
Yeah.
go to open the door.
All right. You open up the door.
And immediately
And
hit
you
with a
can-
trap.
You can see the blood trail goes in and across that main foyer and into one of the lower doors that you remember from last time was where the dining hall was.
Did we see the dining hall? I remember
Yeah,
the
you-
laundry room.
Yeah, when you guys were in there just kind of opening random doors, you had come across the dining hall.
I distinctly remember there being a library
Mm-hmm.
All right.
where I killed Hillman. Wait, no, that's not what happened.
That wasn't here. All right, so I draw my other sword and I go stealthily in. I'm listening intently to make sure, hear any sound, anything that might be somebody's down here, but more specifically, making sure that I don't hear like clanking armor or creature sounds, like anything that would indicate that the enemy that caused this might still be around.
Okay, roll a stealth check first, and then after we ascertain your stealth check, we'll do perception.
Well, here comes stealth.
Okay.
16. Which stealth is dexterity, and dexterity is dexterity's 19, so I don't think I stealthed it.
No, you think you're stealthing at least. So
Okay.
roll your your perception. And
he's Kronk against the wall.
right,
Uh,
Crow and
I don't
Valhalla
notice shit.
and Billy. Well, they're. Oh yeah. Well, you all are outside, like in the rubble and doing your thing. Billy knows what happened, but Valhalla and Crow, you guys are out here checking out the debris and things like that, and all of a sudden you see Faerun step through this door that's standing all by itself within the rubble, has kind of a slight shimmer to it, and when he steps through, he does not come out the other side.
Billy just reaches over and just like starts slapping the blighted crow on the shoulder. Where'd he go?
I feel like I've just lost a patient.
The plague took him.
But more importantly, it seems like there was a real massacre here, and some large creature seems to be the root cause of it. And I point to the giant claw marks in the rubble.
Okay, when he does that, the Valhalla and Billy, you can roll Arcana or Nature to determine what caused these claw marks.
13.
Okay.
Also 13.
Dang.
Wow.
So between the two of you, working together, I guess, you've deduced it down that it bears a striking resemblance to what would be the size and proportions to the claw marks of an adult dragon.
I knew that word was going to show up eventually. I mean, it's one of the two words of this whole game.
Why would they use a dragon to destroy Lizban's house? Or, no, there's no way. There's no way that old man was that dumb.
What are you talking about?
Well, either the Queen's Hand has a dragon at their disposal that they use to destroy other places, which, if they had a dragon at their disposal, I don't understand why they wouldn't have come after us with it. On the other hand, Lizban was pretty eccentric, and I'm pretty sure he's the one we got the creature eggs from. He may or may not have had a pet dragon that went hog wild on him.
Well,
I'm just
we pass the
spitballing here.
Didn't we pass the Queen's Hand setting up some sort of a weird contraption that we deduced that it would capture a large magical beast? Perhaps they captured it and they have it on their leash, so to speak.
But they didn't catch anything yet. They were setting it up to catch something. So either Lizban had a dragon that is now on the loose, problem, or the Queen's Hand has a dragon, also problem.
This sounds like someone didn't know how to train their dragon.
And we also have no idea where Farun just went.
I pop my head back out. You guys gonna follow or what?
Oh dear, my patient seems to be a talking severed head.
It's a Stargate, you dummy.
I see no gate, nor do I see the stars. It is midday.
As I'm gonna go into the house, and I'm just like face how did I get stuck with these guys?
I hope you get paid well for babysitting.
So
prestidigitation can cause auditory effects, yeah?
Minor ones, yeah.
So theoretically, when Billy sighs after his reference falls flat, the losing fanfare from The Price is Right could play, yeah?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Y'all are insane.
We're the stumble crew.
This is why I wanted an isekai protagonist. Because these references are possible.
All right. Is everybody heading into the quote-unquote closet door?
Yes, I am.
Yep.
All right. So when you enter into this closet door, you see that it opens up inside to a gigantic foyer it's got two double staircases that kind of go up at like half circle kind of thing to a balcony up top. There's 4 doors up top. There's 4 doors down on the bottom level with you. The trail of blood leads across the floor past one of the staircases through another door. And anybody that has any kind of arcana or you could do an intelligence check as well, just to see if you can figure this whole mess out. If anybody wants to roll it, Keith or Billy and Farron, you both know that was explained before that basically this was a permanency spell for Magnificent Mansion. The spell Magnificent Mansion. So basically this was Lizban's quote-unquote closet, even though it's technically, it could have been used as a house.
Could we get advantage then?
No, you guys already know. You know what it is. You guys have been here.
Okay, so our rolls were useless.
Yeah, you guys have been here before. You were searching through the library. You vaguely remember what rooms were which. And
speaking of which, I mentioned the creature eggs that we got from, I think, Lizban earlier. Have any of those hatched yet?
No telling. You had to do some exploration. As of right now, the only real... Y'all can roll perception. As far as Farron knows, there's no hostiles in here.
Yeah, Farron, while they're listening in, is going to start following the blood trail.
Billy's now curious because he's thinking about it now that he's come to the realization that Lizban might have been keeping a dragon as a pet. He's gonna check on the little green egg that he got from Lizban.
Okay. The one that you left in his possession, right?
No. We took them with us. Farron's been walking around with a displacer beast kit.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we didn't get those from Lizban. We got those from the Druids party.
That's right.
Those were our rewards for participating in their games.
Still, Billy's worried that he's now walking around with potentially a dragon in his pocket.
Yeah.
Well, if you train your dragon, it wouldn't be a problem.
Your egg is still in one piece, unhatched. Vahana and Crow, from upstairs in the 3rd door in, which happened to be one of the rooms that the old group had gone into before, you definitely hear something banging around in there, making some noise.
Does anybody else hear that?
Do I hear Crow say that? Because I said I was starting to work my way up.
Yeah, you're over at the door right now. Are you going to be opening it, or?
Well, that's why I'm asking if I heard what Crow just said.
Not yet.
Damn it.
Can I use Misty Step to get really close to that door?
Yeah, you could do that.
Can I suggest you grab my hand because I'm about to open that door?
And scare the shit out of Farun, which is a nice bonus.
Wait,
Valhalla, are you going?
He grabs her butt instead.
Okay. Hey, there is only room enough for one person to do anime shenanigans.
Are you Misty stepping to the door with the blood or the door that you hear the noises coming from? Because they're two separate doors.
Oh, they're two completely different doors.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which one's closer?
The one with the blood.
Which is where I'm at, right?
Since I didn't roll a perception check, I need to actually roll one because I can't actually answer whether or not I hear that. Because I haven't checked yet.
Yep.
I think I hear it.
I'm gonna go to the bloody door.
I hear it. I don't like it.
Okay. You teleport to the bloody door. Poof, poof.
And can I take my rapier and just poke at the door to see if I can't get it to budge?
Sure. Yeah.
Which stops
strength check.
Which stops me from reaching out to it. It's like, whoa, wait, what are you doing?
Are you sure a rapier is the right tool for that?
It is now.
It's a little large. Poke.
So you stab at the door. The door wasn't fully closed, and it doesn't like quickly snap open or anything, but it opens up, and it reveals a long 20-foot. It's like a 20-foot long, 10-foot wide room. Directly in the center of this room is a long oak wooden table with a bunch of chairs set on either side. There's food all over the table and everything. A veritable feast, as it were. And sitting at the very far end of the table is a tattered, bloodied, just ripped apart, but very much dead Lizban.
Hey guys, I think I may have found your friend.
Farun looks at it and shakes his head, and we did this.
Are we able to hear? Are we close enough? Because I'm pretty sure the Bladed Crow and I are still over by the other door, worried about the noises.
Yeah. You two are over there. You didn't hear Faerun say that, but Valhalla did.
Well, I hardly knew the man, but I feel like we should have some guidance when we open that noisy door there, Billy. So here you go, and I put my hand on his shoulder and I cast guidance.
Where I don't think we even realized Lizban's dead yet because we didn't witness any of that.
I'm sure we heard Valhalla though, because she did call out saying that she found our friend and he's very, very dead.
She called out or whispered? Because
Farun sheathes his swords and walks up to Lizban's body, taking in full scope of the damage to him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did.
So what does guidance do?
It gives you a D4 to any ability check. It's basically your inspiration, just not as strong.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And Farun says, "I don't know."
Stacked with bardic inspiration.
I don't know if Valhana's close enough to hear me, but Farun apologizes to the corpse of Lizban. That we brought this horror upon you, but I promise you this: I will find who is responsible.
All right.
This I vow.
Blood oath. Okay.
Basically, Farron's taking this very, very much to heart.
Crow and Billy, you're standing up by the noisy door.
Billy very, very slowly pushes the door open with the noise into the room where we hear the noises coming from, with his rapier kind of ready to stab at a moment's notice.
All right. Both of you need to roll dexterity saves.
Okay.
DC is 16.
Oh. I really hope you're not an intelligence-based guy. Oh no! Oh wait! I have a D4.
Come on, 1.
I'm shaking with anticipation.
15.
15. Oh no! We're both 1 short.
We are.
Okay.
Please be a dog. Please.
So,
please be a dog.
As soon as you begin creaking that door open with your rapier, it makes a slight creak on the hinges, and a jet, like a 60-foot line, 5-foot wide jet of water, blasts the door outwards, turning it into splinters, hitting both of you for 24 damage, and knocking you over the railing to the floor below.
Yes.
Well, I'm unconscious because that's my hit point max.
Okay.
I just turn around and I just
sad.
shake my head.
All right. I immediately cast Spare the Dying on Billy.
No,
since
Billy!
he's hurt, and then I'm going to start getting to work.
What is
I
Spare the
audibly
Dying?
start giggling. Like,
I can see you I can see you saying, like, as Scott says, I prepare to get to work. I see the crow pull out like a kitchen knife and one of those sharpening sticks, and he's just like, skink, skink, skink.
It's a scalpel, but yes.
Time to get to work. Y'all want to play a game?
Actually, my
soon-
packed weapon turns into a scalpel, so my cane just kind of goes poof, and it's all a little scalpel.
As soon as Ray rolled that and I saw it come up 24, I'm like, oh shit.
The Valhana, since you didn't actually state that you went into the door, you suddenly see Billy and the doctor come flying off of this balcony, soaking wet, water kind of splashing everywhere. The doctor kind of stands up while Billy just kind of lays on the floor. The doctor waves his hand over Billy, and then a scalpel materializes in his hand. And then you see just more water kind of running off of the balcony. And Farron, you hear everything happen, but you don't actually see what happened.
Well, I obviously go to investigate the noise I just heard.
I begin cutting Billy's shirt off with the scalpel.
I kind of look at them and giggle, and I can't take you guys anywhere, while trying to go upstairs to see exactly what is going on.
Okay.
Do I
This
see
would just
now?
be like the most. This would be just the most terrifying thing ever if Billy was like paralyzed and could see what was going on.
All right, so the crow's chopping his shirt off. Valhana runs upstairs. Farron, what are you doing? When you came out to see what was going on, you see all of this spectacle.
All right, so I see that Crow's about to cut into Billy. I see Billy's half dead, and I see Valhana making her way up.
Not half dead. I am at the point where I need to start making death saves.
No, I cast
No,
Spare
he
the
did
Dying
spare
on
the
you.
dying.
That's
Yep.
why I said half dead, because he healed you.
Mostly dead.
Yeah.
You're mostly dead, very much.
Mostly.
So, and I see
To
Valhana
blade.
heading up to the room that caused this action. Yes.
Yep.
Varane looks down at the blighted crow and Billy and just kind of shakes his head and follows Valhana.
All right. You two get to the room, and given what happened, I'm assuming you're approaching more cautiously.
Yeah.
And just before you can kind of like Scooby-Doo peek around the corner, a large blue-skinned figure, its entire bottom half is almost swirling around like a tornado or a hurricane, flies out of this doorway up into the air of the foyer and is just kind of like looking over all of you. It has a very fish-like appearance with gills and fins and whatnot sticking off of its head. It wears, I don't know how to describe it super appropriately, so I'm just going to say that it's wearing like very Arabian-style clothing.
I was about to say, 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
Yep, pretty close to that, but more aquatic and fish-like. Everybody can roll either. I'm going to throw out 3 options here. You can either roll Arcana, Nature, or Religion.
Except for Billy, because he's currently out.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter which one I roll because they're all the same pluses. God damn it.
The dice gods do not like me today.
I see that.
They haven't been too kind to me either.
I'm just gonna roll just because I want to see what I get. What were the options?
Billy's having an out-of-body experience.
Right, his like incorporeal form.
Yeah, I told you the dice just don't like me either today.
The only person who would have any semblance of knowledge on what this thing is currently unconscious.
Right.
Have fun, guys.
Crow, you have read, a fair amount of medical texts. Granted, you wrote probably half of them, but you do know that this creature that you're staring at is a basically a water genie, and it is called a Merid.
Now, do I know if they are hostile or not?
Well, apparently.
Well, we surprised it.
They're very defensive, but not necessarily outright evil or hostile. They tend to get spooked pretty easily. So
basically, we startled the witch.
Yeah, you pretty much startled the crap out of it, and it attacked in self-defense.
All right, I'll call out to it. Gentle Myriad, I apologize for startling you. Will you stand down and allow us to speak with you?
It kind of hovers idly for a second, eyeballing you. You can tell it's Common is probably not one of its main languages, and it's kind of trying to piece together what you're saying. And it kind of slowly floats a little bit closer to the floor where you and Billy are. Speak.
Yes, converse.
Why have you come?
Farron, I believe this would be your department.
Lizban was a friend. When we saw the condition of his house, we came to check on his well-being and to find out what happened here.
Mm-hmm. It just kind of stares at you.
What happened here, do you know?
Large, flying lizard. White, ice breath.
Large, white lizard with ice breath.
I am so glad Billy is unconscious right now because he would be crying.
Is that what killed Lizban in the other room?
Yes. Symbol of the Queen On forehead.
The hand?
Queen's hand.
What did they take, if anything?
Took nothing but Lizban life.
Why are you here, or still here? Were you guarding something for Lizban, or keeping vigil over his remains?
Lizban wanted to hide.
And he kind of holds out his hands, and you see a platinum band that is roughly the size of a small dinner plate or saucer, and around its outside edge you can see different runes and markings, and anybody that can read Abyssal immediately recognizes these markings.
The dude.
I actually can read Abyssal.
Oh, that's
cool. One of my languages. Plus, I can read any language, but Abyssal is actually, I can speak that.
Super glad that somebody else in the party speaks Abyssal, because I was about to say our only person who speaks Abyssal is currently unconscious.
He floats down all the way to the floor, and Crow, when he does this, you get a really good look at it, and you can see that it in Abyssal it reads the Gate Ring. And
the Gate Ring. Didn't Billy say something about a Stargate?
And he audibly sighs and strokes Billy's cheek.
Wait,
Later, my patient. We will do this later.
And I cast Cure Wounds on him to wake his ass up.
Oh my god, you're frickin' Stein.
Wait, did I just hear you say
this? When you do all this, because you're the one that has kind of said something about it, it floats over straight to the Blighted Crow, and it looks down at you, and he says,
Lizban, say you come. You, Faerun.
I am not Faerun. Faerun is that character right over there. And I point to Faerun after I cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah. He turns and looks at Faerun.
How much did you heal me for?
Who's obviously coming down the stairs to join the rest of the group.
Right. It waits for you to approach, and it solemnly holds out the ring, the platinum ring, to you.
14 health, Billy.
Yay! I have 10 damage. That's cool.
I'm at least
conscious.
And he says,
Lizban.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hey, Billy, shut up. The guy's talking to me. Sorry,
You're
Billy.
not the one who just went through the worst experience Splash Mountain ever.
If I don't hear what this guy says, we might be going through something far worse than what you just experienced. I'm sorry. Please continue.
He holds the ring out to you, and he says,
Lizban, say, ring for Faerun. You use.
Did he say why? As I take the ring.
Work together, all he say.
Work together. I will honor his wishes.
He kind of points to all of you, going around the room here.
Work together. Make ring.
Okay.
So everybody roll wisdom checks.
Yay, wisdom! I'm
Billy,
so
could
good
that
at
be the
wisdom.
Stargate you were mentioning earlier?
I don't think we're actually going to run into an actual Stargate here.
Jesus Christ, can I roll above a 10 at all in this game?
Where I'm from, the Stargate's a story. Legend.
For
Well, that's
Something we tell. Something we tell for entertainment purposes.
Ferran automatically just turns around and says, the gate that opens the gateway to basically the abyss. That's the gate he's talking about.
So, Katie, Valhalla puts together that this guy is basically saying that all of you together can use the ring to activate it.
By our powers combined?
Pretty much.
Billy just sighs heavily, puts his face in his hand, and mutters something about why is it always the power of friendship.
The door, since the closet door never got closed, suddenly, as you all are kind of doing this little bit here, and Valhalla figures that part out, Quenthel shows up, and she looks not as bad as Lizban, but she definitely looks like she just got into a fight herself. And she comes in, and it immediately comes to the closest person, which at this immediate moment would be the doctor and Billy. And she just kind of drops down to one knee. The Queen has a dragon. I completely destroyed the Busty Gull looking for you guys. Everyone from Drakmore House is gone.
What about the mage? He was sleeping at the inn.
I barely had time to get away myself. I have no idea where he is.
He's a Scotsman. I'm sure he'll be fine.
My dear, you seem to be very injured. Can I offer you some leeches?
she kind of.
Where the hell did you get your medical license?
They seem to be working on you very well, Billy. Look at your chest.
She says, "Leeches. No, I'm not hungry right now."
Well, they're not for eating; they're for bloodletting.
Oh, perhaps later. We must get to safety. We must find a way out of here.
Use ring.
Oh, Jesus. I've seen... out of character, I've seen Lord of the Rings. This isn't a good idea. In character,
said we had to work together to use the ring.
So we should all get in a circle and hold hands.
Billy just kind of reaches out and puts his finger on the ring while Ferran's holding it, and just gives this sort of quizzical look of "fuck, I don't have any other ideas."
Ferran kind of just shrugs and looks at everybody else. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna offer up. You all form your little kumbaya circle. Quenthel kind of leaning against the doctor and Veyron as best she can. So here's the option. You either one person can roll and everybody can, help the roll, or all of you can roll individually and we'll just kind of take an average.
I would say
like to help the roll.
let's have the one person be the main roll and everybody else rolls to help, because for rolling to help you only have to get above a 10 to be actually helping.
I agree.
Same.
All right.
So who's the roller?
Everybody roll Arcana.
Who's our main person?
Yeah, that's
or who,
that's what I meant.
Who has the highest Arcana? I have +9.
Oh, Billy, that is awfully meta of you.
I have a +2 to Arcana, so I'm a helper.
I'm a helper too, +3.
Same. +2.
So it looks like I'm the main role here. And I can't cast Bardic Inspiration on myself. Fuck.
So we still roll an Arcana. It's just whatever our number is to help him, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
dang.
Well, dang, oh, dang.
How much of a plus is each success to my roll?
oh my God! I went above 10.
Yo, Farron and I both crit. What the heck?
Ray, how much of a plus to my roll are there successes?
Each person will give you a +1.
Yeah.
Okay. So who all succeeded so far?
All of us.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody. So it'll be a +3.
Well, nobody rolled for Quintel.
Oh my! Oh my!
Oh, wow.
That's okay. That's a 32.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, all of you are channeling your inner kumbaya, holding the ring. The letters on it begin to just like light up and glow with like a intense ferocity, and you all get the immediate smell of brimstone, which only lasts for a second or two, and you're all of a sudden overcome with a sense of just cold, chilly, like death-like air, and you realize that you're standing on a stone platform. And as your eyes come back into focus, and you get your bearings about you, and you all start looking around, you see that you're on like a stone balcony. There's no way to get out like behind you. There's no cave or anything like that. You're just on like a rocky outcropping. And as you look down, you can see that the outcropping continues down and branches off in multiple directions. But there's just these massive caverns that extend deep into just inky blackness. And between those caverns and the rock bridges and rock staircases that stretch off in every direction are thick, just horrendously large spider webs. And everybody can roll religion at this immediate moment.
I get the impression that Quintel and myself would get advantage on that because I think I know where we are.
Yes, that sounds pretty reasonable.
If my guess is correct.
16 on a knowledge religion.
Oh, what the hell? Disregard that first one. I don't have that type of...
Oh, nice.
All right, now my advantage roll.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. So, Valhana, through stories that you've heard from the Raven Queen and the High Council, Quintel and and Billy, being, that you're an outsider trapped inside of a character's body, and basically everybody but the doctor. Right. Everybody but the doctor. You all recognize that you are, in fact, standing in some part, unsure which part exactly. It's not really the beginning or the end, because that doesn't exist here. But you are, in fact, standing in the Demon Web Pits, the home to Nim, former home to the Spider Queen herself, Loth. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude this episode of Chronicles of the Lost Realm.
Faran really fucking hates you right now.
Billy definitely said we're not in Kansas anymore the second we popped in. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
So, we'll just do a real quick run around and get our nice little around the horn out of the way, and we'll start with Farron /Chris. Where can we find more of you, sir?
Well, you can find me co-hosting Breaking the Fourth Wall or hosting Realm of the Mist podcast over at Realm of the Mist channel on YouTube or on Anchor, iTunes, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. And, of course, right here on Sounds Dicey, either on iTunes or here, playing the character of Ferrante Thanalis or being the storyteller on our other Dungeons & Dragons show, Four Corners of Hell.
Fantastic. And Billy, a.k.a. Keith, where can we find more of you, sir?
Obviously, you can always find me on Sounds Dicey playing Billy Knoll. However, I'm not sure how long that's going to continue lasting if Ray keeps hitting me as hard as he does.
24 is not a hard hit.
And it is for me. It's my entire health.
Get strong.
But you can also find me on Press A Gaming Podcast as your host, Zephyr Zero. And anywhere, pretty much any podcast I just get roped in on at Realm of the Mist.
Beautiful. And the Good Doctor, the Blighted Crow, also known as my good friend Scott, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me right here on Sounds Dicey, trying to heal my fellow patient the old way and getting extremely disappointed when there's not enough time to do it that way and I have to use magic to bring them back.
You know, I don't mind that. I really didn't want you going all Stein on me.
Well, at least you know he could
thing I
piece you
wanna-
back together.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is wake up as a zombie.
And Valhana, also with also known as Katie. Where can we find you, ma'am?
You guys can find me here on Sounds Dicey. I'm here playing Valhana, and I'm also on Four Corners of Hell playing Valhana's doppelganger there.
Nice.
Nice.
And as for me, I'm Ray, the Chronicler, putting people through miserable torture every day with various dice rolls. You can also find me co-hosting on Breaking the Fourth Wall, playing Lemmy Stormkiller on Four Corners. Let's see, chronicling here. I'm also talking Star Wars on War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. And yeah, that's about wraps that up. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all under Chronicles of the Lost Realm. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for putting up with our antics one more time, and we hope to see you back next time.